Hello, everyone. I'm Hartford Healthcare's Tina Verona. Thank you so much for joining us. Imagine having your medical records at your fingertips. Well, you can now. Joining me is Chief Medical Informatics Officer at Hartford Healthcare, Spencer Erman. He's here to explain it all, how it works. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tina.
So let's talk about, it's called MyChartPlus. Yes. Give us kind of an overview before we get into the demonstration of how it works and why this is so important.
MyChartPlus is a patient portal that allows you, the patient, or an authorized proxy to access certain parts of your medical record on your home computer, on your phone, or your tablet. It's important because we want patients to become engaged and participate in their own health care.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into it here. So this is kind of the landing page, if you will, right when you first log into it. Is that correct?
Correct. And like just about every other web page you see, you put in your username and your password and you get logged in. If you don't have an account, you click sign up now right here on the right side. If you have an activation code from your provider's office, you put that in. If you don't, also on the right side is a little section that says sign up here. As long as you have an email address on file with Hartford Healthcare, you can sign up for MyChartPlus.
Okay, so once they sign up, they log in. Let's go to the home page and see what they see first.
So this is the home page of a test patient that we produced. You can see on the main screen, I have 9 messages I could read. I would have received an email telling me to log into my portal that says I have a message waiting. I can look at my billing account. I can look at, I just timed out. I can look at lab results. I can look at medication lists. I can look at
manage your
problems,
appointments, request appointments. You can even communicate with your physician, right?
Right. You can send a secure message to your physician's office.
And speaking of the security, and that's of course is on the minds of many folks nowadays, and who might be a little bit hesitant to access this or log in and have their patient information there. So let's remind folks how secure this network is.
This network is state-of-the-art secure. As long as you use your password on your phone, you're secure. Nothing is saved on your tablet or your PC or your telephone. You log into the portal. I am now accessing the Hartford Healthcare electronic medical record. Nothing is on my phone or my computer. It's state-of-the-art secure.
Got it. Okay, so now we're looking, you have some messages here, you've got some details to look at.
Right. I can fill out questionnaires for an appointment that's upcoming. I can look at the recent summaries and notes from my recent visit with Dr. Schmetterling.
And now, for instance, so on the side here, these quick links, refill medications, how do patients do that?
It's very simple. If you want to view your test results, you click on it, and any recent lab tests you have will come up. So I had a blood count on February 25th. I click on that, and I see the actual results. If I had had previous ones, they would show up. You can graph this. You can chart it just by clicking on the different tabs. Past results would show up here if there were any. Again, this is a test patient. And the graph of all your results, so you can see how your labs change over time.
And what's nice about that too is that you're notified with a message that say, hey, your test results are in, so you know you don't have to call the doctor's office. You know that you can go to MyChartPlus and view those results.
Exactly correct. And these results do go to your provider's electronic in-basket. If there's a critical or dangerous or abnormal result, that provider is notified right away and will be in touch with you. But this lets you see these results much sooner than if you're waiting for the provider to call you.
We're talking, in case you're just joining us, to Chief Medical Informatics Officer at Hartford Healthcare, Dr. Spencer Erman. We're talking all about MyChartPlus. This is a new online safe way to access your medical records and to really, I think this is for patients really to keep their finger on the pulse of their medical information. There's literally everything here at your fingertips.
Exactly. It allows you to participate and become involved and get all the information you need.
And we have a question from Scott Clark. He asks, why does it not show any notes from an MRI or x-rays, especially on a phone? Thanks for the question, Scott.
Scott, that's a good question. And the answer is it depends. Notes from an MRI x-ray will show up on the telephone. What you cannot see is the actual picture. We're working on getting that in right now, but because of the way the pictures are stored on a different server, we can't show them right now. But if your tests were done while MyChartPlus was active, from a Hartford healthcare provider, the actual results are viewable.
So how does this actually work? How does this data get stored? How does this kind of take us through the nuts and bolts of it, if you will?
Hartford Healthcare started on a journey in 2012 to implement Epic Electronic Health Record System. This is one module within Epic. So what I'm viewing here is actually pulled out of the major electronic health record for the Hartford Healthcare system. There are hooks that pull out my lab results, and if something changes in the electronic record, it's reflected immediately here.
And how far back can this store information in terms of your medical records and so forth?
We went live in August of 2015 with primary care ambulatory, so it goes back at least that far. If you're starting a new account now, we go back 60 days, about 2 months, and pull in all those old records, 60 days till the present, and then as far in the future as you continue to use it.
And so far, how many folks have signed up for MyChartPlus?
We have just under 160,000 users of MyChartPlus.
And what has been the sort of the general consensus or feedback from patients? I would imagine this is a great patient experience for patients.
It's wonderful. There are 3 major things that patients like to use. Number 1 is scheduling appointments. You can schedule an appointment right from here. So instead of getting on the phone and listening to music, you can identify your provider, say it's a new problem visit, and you will actually see the provider's schedule on when he has availability, and you schedule an appointment right here. You can cancel and reschedule the same way. So we've shown in the offices it decreases on no-shows from appointments. Another function that's very useful is refilling medications. You just click on the medication list and see what medications I'm on. If I want to refill, I click on it and I can refill it. If I stop taking it, I can remove it. So you can participate and let the providers know that you're changing your treatments.
Your treatments. Scott does have a follow-up question, Dr. Erman. So it will show how the MRI is read, and thank you. Thanks, Scott.
Yes, once results get into MyChartPlus, it will show you the reading of the MRI, yes.
And now also billing too. So patients have the option, let's pull up billing here as well to show patients how you can actually pay your bill, view your bill.
Okay, so I have a bill of 1 cent with Hartford Healthcare. I can pay it now, I can look at details, or if I contest that, I can send a message right to the customer service billing department and they can address it. But right now, if I want to pay it, I just click Pay Now. I can enter my credit card information and pay this bill. You can also pay as a guest. So if your spouse has an account and you want to pay her account without actually having access to her medical records, you can pay as a guest very easily.
Let's take a look at resources. What does that option allow you to do?
Resources has a few things. A very nice feature is a reference library, because people Google everything to try to find out medical knowledge. And as we all know, Google does not have the best sources sometimes. So if I want to find out details about Lyme disease, I just type in Lyme disease, and I will get medically reviewed, authorized topics that gives you state-of-the-art information from Medline Plus.
So you know that when you're being redirected to another site, that this is a credible site.
Exactly. Yeah. This is real, and it's state-of-the-art, up-to-date information.
And let's go back to that homepage. So also profile. What do you suggest people do when they're entering their profile? What does that ask?
Well, it lets you change the color schemes and those kind of things, but you can also put in things like your own picture. So if you want to put your photograph up here instead of having this purple blob, you can import a picture. Another function is the proxy access. You can gain access for your children, elderly parents, or anyone else. And you can, this way I have access now to both my chart and my child's chart. Spouses who make appointments for each other can do it. Kids, elderly parents, it works very well.
How many can you actually sign on to have access to your login?
I'm not sure of that. I mean, I've seen up to 6, but I'm not sure if there's more available.
Which is a nice feature, because a lot of times, like if you're, let's say you have an elderly parent that you live out of state, this is a really great way to keep up with their health care.
Additionally, even if you live in the same city and you want to schedule appointments for them, or you want to find out what their medication list is because the parent was not clear on the instructions, you go right to the visits. You see, okay, he had a visit today on February 25th, and you see the after visit summary with the instructions that the doctor wrote. It has the test results, it has lab results, any changes in medications, what to start, what to stop. It's very clear.
Now you're going to be coming up at West Farms, a Walk to Wellness, coming up on March 5th at 8:30 in the morning, where you're actually going to be doing more demonstrations there as well, right?
Correct. I'm going to show a lot more detail of what I'm showing now and also help people sign up if they're interested.
Yeah, absolutely. And signing up is pretty easy to do, right?
It's very easy. As long as you're a patient in Hartford Healthcare and you have a chart within Epic, you can sign up and get the account.
Okay, so Annie says, I love MyChartPlus, but certain features aren't available in the app. For example, my doctor uploaded a letter for me to take to work, but I couldn't access it through the app. I had to go to the actual website. Thanks, Anna, for the question and the comment.
And that's true with many, many websites, that there are more things you can do on a laptop or a PC than you can do on a phone or a tablet. So again, you can access the letters very easily here.
From
a desktop or a laptop. So this is a nurse that someone had a letter produced. Right here, you can print it right from here to provide your employer or whomever you need it. You can also print out your immunization lists. So parents need it for the kids in school or summer camp. You go right here, print it out. No need to call the doctor and make the trip.
So a separate app for the mobile app obviously is a more condensed version, but you may not, like Anna says, may have some difficulty printing things out, or that's when you really need to switch to the desktop.
Correct.
To get that. What else should patients be looking out for in terms of the homepage to make it a little bit easier?
Well, there's a question. Okay, so we have this great feature here. Who's looking at my record? There's actually a list here of who has accessed your record when, who has logged in. So if you're ever curious who's checking me out, this is how you can find out. There's lots of functions about current health issues, any conditions you have, and you can, if you want to find out more about sickle cell trait, you go right over to the resource, you can look it up. You can add things that if you're seeing a different provider, not on Epic, who has diagnosed something else, you can add it right there. This will go into your chart to be reviewed and verified by your provider when they come in.
Now, separate from this, if you're a patient within the Hartford healthcare system, there is the MyChart bedside as well. You talk a little bit about that?
MyChart bedside is a new module that we're just rolling out this month and next month. And we're only doing it in certain units where patients who are actually in the hospital will be provided with a tablet to let them look up a lot of the same features here. It'll give them their hospital schedules. They'll know if they're going for a certain x-ray test or lab test. They'll know what medicines they're on. They can send messages to their care teams. They can look up topics just as we showed here. And all information from MyChart bedside will be in MyChartPlus when the patient leaves the hospital.
Which is great. So whether you're in the hospital or whether you are not and you're just managing your health care, this is such a quick and easy way, and literally everything is right there at your fingertips. When you mentioned that you can have other people have access to your account, would they, if they have access to your account and you receive messages, would they be receiving messages as well at the same time?
Yes. If your parent or your kids have their own account, they will be receiving messages also. Usually if it's a kid, they don't have their own accounts, but for elderly parents, sometimes they do.
They do. So that's a key thing too.
And something I want to make sure you understand is that this is not for urgent messages. This is not, I'm having chest pains, I'm short of breath.
Right.
This is for, I didn't understand your instructions, when should I start exercising? Little things like that.
Now, can you ask your physician a question here too, or in terms of messaging, can you?
Very easily, right here, just like doing an email. A new question, refills, customer service. This goes to the technical support, but I can ask my provider who I want. These are all the doctors that I could send to, what it's about. Now this goes to a pool of the other clinicians in their office. So it might not go right to the provider first. It will go to the nurse or the medical assistant who, just like a phone call, will triage that message. If the nurse can handle it, they will handle it. If not, they'll forward it to the doctor. And we try to get responses within 48 business hours. And as of this morning, we're at 95.3% success in that metric.
That's incredible. I think another nice feature about this too is how often do you go to the doctor and they tell you results and you forget or you don't quite remember everything, but you can go back, everything is right here, it's nice and simple, very self-explanatory to see exactly, oh gosh, I forgot he or she said that, and it's all right there.
And that's very true, Tina. And another very nice feature is The messaging is what we call asynchronous messaging. You don't have to call,
Right.
then leave a message, the doc calls you back, you're not home, leave a message, play phone tag. You answer the message when you can, the provider team answers it when they can, and it gets the information where it needs to be much more quickly.
And even like with test results, when you have angsts and you're waiting for those test results, you know that when that message comes in, they're ready. There is no calling or calling 5 times to try and get the results. You get it when they tell you.
And you get it when the results are available. We release, right now we're releasing the results 9 a.m. the day after they're available. And the provider is still going to see them. They're still going to write their message, but they will put it in MyChart. So you won't come home from work to have some voicemail message saying, please call your doctor, and you get the message at 6 o'clock and the doctor's office is closed. You'll have the message right in your MyChart portal.
Dr. Erman, thank you so much for giving us this quick tutorial. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Why not do this? Everything is literally at your fingertips. So thank you for your great work.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
We appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you for joining us and for all of your questions. For more information, you can log on to MyChartPlus.org or call 860-972-4993. And also, just want to mention March 5th, you're going to be at West Farms Mall for a walk to wellness. So we hope to see you out there too. To register for that class, that is another number, 1-855-HHC here to register and see Dr. Erman in person and to get your own tutorial. So again, thank you for joining us. I'm Hartford Healthcare's Tina Verona. We'll see you next time.